Good evening and welcome to ECISD Live. I'm Scott Muri, the Superintendent of Ector County Independent School District. And it's a pleasure to have you with us tonight. We have some really special guests that we'll welcome to the show in just a few minutes. Four amazing ECISD teachers have really paused their evening activities and agreed to share their words of wisdom with us tonight and their experiences thus far on this sixth day of school during the 2021 school year. But before we hear from our teachers, we want to walk through some information with you. We know that, again, we just finished day 6 in ECISD, and there's a lot happening in our organization, and we have some data elements that we want to share to kind of tell you a little bit about what school has been like in these first few days. So we're going to bring up a slide deck right now. All right. And so again, we started August 12th. Wednesday, August 12th was our first day of school. On that first day, we welcomed 4,200 students physically to our campus, but holistically, 23,067 students joined us for that very first day of school in ECISD. Most of our students were in a virtual realm as we are phasing in the start of school, kind of slowly bringing our kids back to our campuses in small amounts. So 4,200 students on that first day. Also on that first day, we served 2,400 lunches, a lot of hungry kids that very first day of school. Our technology help desk was very busy. They received 779 calls from students and parents and folks all over the community asking for support in that new virtual world for them. Our teacher vacancies, we're happy to report that 95% of our positions have been filled. We have less than 120 vacancies currently in ECISD. We're excited about that opportunity. And then we had bus riders. We had well over 100 buses on that first day of school, but only 215 students riding those buses on the first day. So I've told folks it was like personal limousine service on that very first day for our kids. So kudos to our transportation team that was out and about. We projected for the school year that we would have 33,983 students this particular year. And as of today, we're right at 30,956 students that have joined us either face-to-face or virtually. So as you can tell, we picked up a lot of students since that very first day of school, and they continue to arrive. In fact, about 500 more students arrived either on our campuses or in that virtual world today. And we should hit that 33,983 mark before you know it. So parents, if you're listening tonight and you have yet to register or enroll your child, again, school started August 12th. And in Texas, all kids, we have compulsory education laws. And so all kids have got to be in school now, either face-to-face or virtual. So make sure you're sending your kids either to our schools face-to-face or virtual, whichever environment they're faced in, a process determines. Students are attending school right now at about a 94% attendance rate. Again, that's either virtual or face-to-face. And then as of yesterday, we had 4,783 students physically present on our campus on that very first day. So what's it like? We're going to hear from our teachers in just a few minutes, but we've got some pictures to show you. As you can see in our classrooms, kids are spread out, again, with only 4,700 students in a face-to-face environment right now. Our kids are all over the place. So you can see lots of distance in each of our classes. You'll also notice what our folks are wearing. Our teachers in all of our schools, elementary, middle, and high school, wear a mask as well as a face shield when they're in front of students. And again, you can see in these images that our kids are equally expressed. I'll point out this particular picture. We have teachers they're working in two worlds right now, the face-to-face world and a virtual world. In just a few minutes, again, you'll hear from a few of our teachers and they'll talk about what this experience is like. But the teacher that you see in the middle is doing both. I actually took that picture, and on the left, the kids you really can't see in the image, a group of students that she had in her classroom while she's also serving the rest of her students in that virtual world. And on the right, you can see the protection that we have in some of our classrooms to keep our kids safe from each other. We've welcomed a lot of new folks to ECISD. In fact, tonight you're going to have a chance to meet one of our brand new teachers in ECISD. We have 423 new teachers that we've welcomed. Some of those new teachers are new to the profession, while other teachers have come from really around the world. We welcome teachers from all over the world to ECISD. And again, you'll meet one of those new folks tonight. Our teachers have been busy. Not only have they been busy the first 5 days of school, but our teachers spent a lot of their spring and summer preparing for the opening of school, and I really want to lift them up. If you look at the amount of hours, so this summer, again, July and August, 3,380 hours were spent on our teachers learning specifically some of the technology tools so that they could improve their skills. And that's time, those were hours that teachers spent on their own. We did not pay for teachers to do that. They, on their own time, were investing in themselves. And I really want to lift up our teachers tonight and commend them for the significant amount of time and energy that they have devoted to themselves. And so I'm really grateful to them. Since August 3rd, so August 3rd and 4th, we welcomed our new teachers. And then August 5th, the rest of our teachers came back with us. They've spent 23,000 hours learning professionally how to develop the skills necessary to teach in this really interesting new paradigm. Again, you'll hear more about that a little bit later on. Safety is important, keeping all of our kids and staff safe. You'll see our custodians here really going well above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that all of those places that our kids touch and feel, those commonly touched areas, door handles, restrooms, etc., handrails, that they are kept clean. Hand sanitizer, you can see it, that picture in the middle, is located everywhere. In fact, as kids are entering the building, they're squirting themselves with hand sanitizer before they enter class. Hand sanitizer is located in every teacher's classroom as well as hallways and in entrances to schools. It is everywhere on our campuses. Again, bus riders, our buses are busy around our community, and our buses are not full by any means. In fact, as of the 17th, 405 students were riding those well over 100 buses. So again, not a lot of students on our bus, a lot of elbow room for our students right now. We're serving meals. You'll find the data on the far right interesting. Typically, this time of year, we would be serving about 15,000 breakfasts every day and 16,000 lunches each day. But we do not have that many students on our campus. And in fact, probably even once we finish the phase-in process, won't even have that many students on campus in one day. But we still have kids eating both breakfast and lunch. You can see that typically we're seeing about 3,000 students right now eating breakfast and a little over 3,000 of our students eating lunch each day. This year, lunch and breakfast are both provided free of charge for every single student. And you can see that the cafeteria looks a little different. We're actually not using our cafeterias this year. We are using classrooms. Our food is delivered. It's kind of like breakfast in bed, except it is breakfast in the classroom this year, as our cafeteria team delivers really high quality meals to our students. In addition, I think you'll find this interesting. So for breakfast every morning, every student that receives breakfast also gets a bottle of water. Every kid, again, is provided that receives breakfast every single day. That bottle of water, many of those kids are carrying that water with them throughout the day and then using it. And our teachers allow our students to have that water in their classrooms. It's pretty important, as our water fountains are closed because of COVID-19. So that bottle of water comes in really handy. And again, it's provided for all of our kids, those kids that take breakfast. You can see again what learning or what meal service looks like, our cafeteria team delivering. We also offer curbside service. So moms and dads, if you're keeping your kids at home during this time and you wish them to have breakfast and lunch, that's provided every single day at all 42 schools in ECISD. Technology has been busy, and I want to point out tonight that not only do we provide opportunities for families through the technology help desk, but in addition to the help desk, we also have 3 other ways that families can get assistance. www.ecisdaskit.com is a self-help area. Many of the questions that our families and students are asking, there are answers actually available, and you can go to the self-help site to find those answers and receive a quick response, so you don't have to wait on the phone in order to receive a response to your question. We also, if you simply need a password reset or you forgot your password, you can simply email the help desk at helpdesk@ectorcountyisd.org. And finally, if you would like to schedule an appointment to have somebody on the tech line call you, then you can do that, and you can see that web address on your screen right now. So all 4 different ways that you can access technology support in ECISD. I commend our technology team for being very creative and responsive to the needs of our families and the needs of our teachers. And then next steps. Next week on Wednesday, August 26th, we will welcome Phase 2 students. Parents, if you're not quite sure what phase your children are in, you may visit the ECISD website and look at that phasing information. But phase 2 students will join us on the 26th, and then phase 3 students that will join us on September 1st. And finally, phase 4 students will join us on September 8th. We'll announce that final date next week, but we anticipate right now, based upon current health conditions, that we'll be able to maintain phase 4 on September 8th. But again, we'll confirm that next week. All right. So that's the phasing process. I want to hop out of that real fast. As many of you know, if you've been watching the news, we have had, actually each day of school, we've had several COVID-19 cases, either staff members or students. And we are making sure that our community is aware of that. I think I'm going to show you 2 screens right now. First, for staff, we have a protocol. So any ECISD staff member, whether teacher, principal, custodian, or superintendent, any of us that happen to be exposed to COVID-19, this particular really well thought out protocol defines what you do. If you think you've been exposed, or if you know you have been exposed, or if you test positive, this chart really walks you through all of the processes and systems that we have in place to make sure that you as a staff member remain safe, and then what to do if you do indeed test positive, what that process is. So again, this is available on the ECISD website. We work pretty closely with our health department to make sure that information is up to date and accurate. Also, parents, we've had a few students that have tested positive, and parents, we've asked you every single day to make sure that you check your child. And I encourage you and really remind all of you, before your child comes to school every morning, it is critically important that parents, that you check your child for each of these symptoms. And do not let them come to school if they display any of these symptoms. It is pretty important. And if your child does test positive for COVID-19, it is critically important that you notify us so that we can follow health department guidelines and make sure that we make the proper notifications. But parents, please, I really implore you to make sure every single day that you're checking your children for these signs. And again, if they display any of these symptoms, that you keep them home and that you visit your local doctor. So indeed, and if COVID-19 testing is required by your doctor, that you follow through with that and let us know what those results are so that we can take appropriate action. So what if your child they leave home in the morning and they are they're healthy, but something happens during the day? And this really describes what we do. If a child gets sick at school, there are very specific protocols that we follow. And parents, again, this is available on the ECISD website. You can access this information and see the processes that we follow. And then notification. Some of you as parents, you may be at a school right now in which a student has been identified as testing positive for COVID. You have been notified. We send out those notifications every single day to make sure that our families, students, and staff members are kept abreast of any COVID-19 situation. So again, all of this information is on the ECISD website. And I would encourage, if you have questions, parents, you can look through this protocol, and staff members that happen to be watching tonight, those protocols are available for you as well. All right, now we have some pretty amazing individuals that are going to join us tonight, and I'd like to take just a moment to introduce them to you. So 4 amazing ECISD teachers, and I want to start tonight with Gabi Brady. Gabi is a 5th grade teacher at EK Downing Elementary School. So Gabi, I want to welcome you to ECISD Live, and thank you for joining us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Good, good. So Gabi, you are at home tonight.
Yes, I am. My first couple of days at school were a normal. I was seeing my face-to-face students at EK Downing, and my Reach associate ended up having COVID. And so I was quarantined for precautionary reasons. So I'm doing teaching from home. I'm doing a Google platform, and I have a sub in one room, and I have a teacher's aide in another room. And so I'm being teleprompted onto a large screen with my students, and I get to see them, interact with them. It's actually, at first, I have to say, when Mr. Lopez, my principal, came to me and said, all right, so here's the plan, I was like, I'm not too sure how this is going to come out. And it's working. Like, we're actually having discussion. I'm the MCL at EK Downing, 5th grade. So we're actually talking about recording my lessons and showing them to other classes that may need to catch them up to be on pace. And so, instead of just one classroom or 2 classrooms, I could be in like 3 or 4 classrooms. So I have 22 students at this time. We're not all together in the same room. So like I said, I thought, hey, I can do this. This is, 3 days in. And then the 3rd day I got kicked out. Yeah. So, and it's working. Like the Zoom, the meet that we're doing, I can exchange, have conversation, discussion. I had take your dog to work day today. So it was awesome.
I love it. That's great. Love your attitude, Gabi. Thank you. Even from home, you're in quarantine. You're making sure that it sounds like not only the kids are learning, but you're also in your role. You're also coaching your colleagues as well. And,
yes.
A little bit of double right now for you.
Like I said, my administrators have been extremely supportive. My school that I'm working at this time, they're amazing. The people that I'm working with are awesome. And I feel like every time we're thrown like some crazy curveball, we have an answer. So it's truly working out.
Good. Thanks, Gabi. We'll chat a little bit further. So next, Sheila Wilson. So Sheila, 5th grade MCL, so multi-classroom leader, and you're at Ross Elementary School. Sheila, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So Sheila, MCL, multi-classroom leader, tell us what is that? That's a new thing this year in ECISD.
It is a new thing, Dr. Muri, and MCL is part of Opportunity Culture. And what Opportunity Culture is it's a program new to ECISD that allows teachers who have experience, maybe more experience than some others, to have a further reach with kids within schools, to reach more kids. And so what an MCL does, a multi-classroom leader, is we teach our own kids, but we also have pockets of time throughout the day so that we can be in other classrooms and we can be coaching less experienced teachers, modeling lessons, co-teaching, and planning together. So it's just a great opportunity for our district, and I'm really excited about where it's going to take us.
Great. Oh, I'm excited. So tell me about your life right now at Ross. What's a typical day like for you?
Well, it's certainly unlike any other school year. We normally, when we come in at the beginning of the year, we're greeting kids with high fives and smiles and getting hugs from former students. And so it's a lot different. Now we don't have all our students there like we usually do at the beginning of the year. We're wearing masks, we're wearing face shields, we're keeping kids socially distanced, teaching in ways that we've never taught before. So it has been a lot different. It's been challenging, but at the same time, in some ways, because we were away from kids for 5 months, it's been more exciting than the beginning of any other school year at the same time.
Yeah.
Just to be back in that building with kids and other teachers.
Yeah. It's
extremely exciting.
I was at a school on the first day, and that was that excitement of teachers being back with students. It was palpable, even though there weren't a lot of students there. Just that energy for a teacher to reconnect with kids and with those air high fives.
We've been missing it for sure. So best part by far.
Thank you, Sheila, for joining us tonight. Carolyn Silas, English and French at New Tech Odessa, kind of moving to the high school level. So Carolyn, thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So French teacher, do you teach both English and French?
Yes, I actually have a degree in modern languages. So I've been teaching different languages for 12 years. So
how many languages do you speak?
I speak French, Spanish, which is my native language. I speak English and also Italian, kind of intermediate level.
Wow, impressive. I have a hard time with English, so much less 4 languages. So that's impressive. That's impressive. So tell me, life at the high school at New Tech, what is it like for you right now?
It's quite different to what we're used to. As all teachers probably are mentioning, we miss having that interaction with our students, having them face to face. And it's been a learning process, trying to build relationships with them in this beginning of the year where it's so important. And having the majority of my students from home is making that a little challenging at times because, we have those that probably are a little quiet and don't want to share, right away with the teacher or with the peers and so on. But I'm quite confident that, as time goes by, we're all going to get, in the routine, opening, I guess, our mind to this different kind of environment.
Yeah. To get a little bit better each day for you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. First week, it was a learning process, a lot of challenges, and
Yeah.
especially with technology.
Yeah.
And even though we're used to here at New Tech, using technology quite, basically every day, and most of our students do amazing with technology.
Yes.
We also have our freshman class, and we have to, I guess, teach them how to use all the different new things that they have here at New Tech.
That's interesting. So, so New Tech, you would think, oh, it's easy for you all because, though you're already doing all this, right?
No, we have 100 plus, freshmen that don't
Yeah.
have an idea what New Tech is about.
Sure.
And that's why we have something called Culture Week. And it is something that we do every year, kind of like we take a week to teach our students, everything about New Tech, everything about PBL, and especially how to deal with ECHO, which is our main, software on how we turn in grades and turn in assignments and all that. So they have to get used to a lot of new things. And for those that are used to New Tech, it's just refreshing all this, our culture.
Sure.
In a way.
Good. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll chat again in a few minutes. And our final teacher night is from Permian High School. And he is Aaron Ashford. And Aaron, I do believe this is your very first year, not only at Permian High School, but your very first year in ECISD. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
So welcome. So lots of new for you, Aaron. New school, new community, and a very new opportunity in education. Talk about what your experience has been like so far.
Well, it's I feel like a first-year teacher again, and I've coached for the past several years. I've been a head football coach, athletic director at a couple of stops, and I decided to unpack that suitcase. I got tired of that coaching tour of duty, and I have a friend within ECISD who let me know of a position at Permian, and because of him, I jumped on it. He's a really, really good guy. But let me tell you, that's all I can say. I feel like a 6-day-old baby because we're used to, we did this of sorts during the break in March, part of March, April, and part of May. Mm-hmm. But as teachers, we prepare for face-to-face. We don't prepare for anything like this. And it's been almost overwhelming to prepare for it. But once you get there, once you begin to, there's a difference in training and then actually having the kids on screen or the few face-to-face. But it's getting a little smoother. I'm not saying it's getting a little easier. It's getting a little smoother. And we're getting accustomed to it, and with all of the changes and whatnot, it's okay. It's going to be okay, and it's going to smooth out. But there's still that adjustment phase that I have to go through. Yeah.
Good, and I think that's for all of us. You mentioned. You feel like a new teacher, even though you're an experienced teacher. Sometimes I feel like a new superintendent, and this,
yes.
I think probably every employee. If you think about our custodians and cafeteria workers and bus drivers, everyone's routine is really new, and even our parents. This is new for them too. Suddenly, their kids are at home every day and learning instead of at school, and that's a challenge as well. So it's a new world for all of us, for sure. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight, Aaron. All right, I want to go back to Gabi for just a minute. And I want to talk about our kids. And I may come to a couple of others of you with this question, but talk about your students right now. Gabi, so fifth graders, your kids are a little bit older, the students that you serve at the elementary level. What has their experience been like? And you could talk both the face-to-face students and the virtual students, because it may be a different kind of experience for them. What are they feeling right now, in your opinion? What are they thinking? What's going on with
it has my face-to-face kids, to start off the year, they had to put a mask on. And for them, that's tough. All summer we've been running outside, not being socially distanced, like close to each other. So we didn't have to do that. So that they were getting into the routine of having to put that mask on, sitting down, doing activities with the mask on. Also social distancing when they stand up and we line up to go somewhere. It's, they're reminding each other social distance and they stick their arm out. So that's just those new procedures that we were getting in place before I got kicked out of school. Now that, I'm on a Google Meet with them, I had new procedures with them coming in saying, okay, guys, I may not be in there in person, but you're still at a level 1. We're making sure we still have our masks on. So it's those beginning of the year procedures that I never thought I would be saying, to my students, put your mask on, or, make sure that you're arm length distance away from each other. Make sure that you're doing your work and you have a mask on. It's hard to do some turn talk when they have a mask on. So, we're adjusting, we're learning through it. It's definitely a curve, but it's working out. Even when I'm, I can hear them through our Google Meet, and I'll tell them, okay, I can't hear you, show me fingers, give me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's a communication piece. I was so used to communicating with them face to face, and that was the easy part. And then I got thrown my curveball. So now we're doing, my meet, and I have to make sure, okay, let me see your thumbs. I can hear you. Where's your mask? It's definitely a different type of verbiage than what they're used to hearing and what I'm used to saying.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And it is learning new gestures. I was watching a teacher yesterday, and she was completely virtual, and it was all about thumbs. Typically in a classroom, you might have, to your point, different kinds of ways to get responses from kids, but her kids were all muted. So it was all about thumbs, and shaking the thumbs and one thumb. But it was so that they've discovered their thumbs.
Right.
Clearly.
Yes. And we do, you got me, or not sure I did that flop, it's definitely not something I'm used to doing any type of content check.
Sure.
Trying to teach, so it's that verbiage that they understand, and they'll tell the person that's in the room with them, unmute her, or unmute us so they can talk to me. It's working out.
Good. Day at a time. Good. Ms. Silas, I'm coming to you. Similar question, and that is about our high school kids. Again, you serve kids at New Tech High School. What is the mood right now of our kids? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What has their experience been like, both face-to-face and virtual?
I'll say the first week, it was definitely a learning process. Even for us teachers, we have, tech issues and all that. But I think second day in, we were all in sync in a way. Most of our students were showing up. They were collaborating already. Even though we're virtual, we're trying to still maintain the collaborative culture here at New Tech.
Yeah.
So during that culture week, students had the opportunity to share assignments, and not assignments per se, but at least to share, their experience regarding the pandemic. We were trying to just get in touch with them and see how they were feeling, to welcome them again, into our environment, and try to find different ways to use technology to collaborate and still, maintain that PBL, culture, even if we're not doing, what we're supposed to be doing in a normal environment.
I'm glad to hear you say the collaboration piece. Last semester, it was around the end of April. I have a group of students that I listen to that kind of advise me, mainly juniors and seniors in high school. And one of the things that they really missed last spring were the opportunities to collaborate. In fact, they were, hey, please, Dr. Muri, would you tell our teachers that we want to figure out how to collaborate because we can't see each other? And so it's nice to hear, that you, even in a virtual world, are creating ways for kids to collaborate because, it's important.
The tools are there, and I think the resources are there. We just have to get used to them and basically lose the fear to use them.
Yeah.
We might have issues having Google Meets and having kids, still share I would say, instructions with one another. I'm going to send you an email. You're going to receive an email. You're going to receive my assignment here. Just check your email and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's just amazing how they still find a way to collaborate. And we have the G Suite available through our emails, and it's been, life-saving.
Yeah. Kids are resilient, elementary, middle, and high school. Our children are resilient in this situation. We see that, I think, every day. So good. Aaron, coming to you for this one. So talk about your students at Permian. I actually was walking the halls of Permian on the first day of school, and just as I walked in the door, the bell rang. So it's time for a class change. And normally in a class change in high school, you better, stand really close to the wall because it can be dangerous. But, there were only a couple of kids here and it was not a dangerous experience. That's for sure. So as we think about just the safety of our kids right now at the high school level, and making sure that whether it's wearing masks or social distancing, how are the kids responding to all of the new safety procedures that we put in place? What are you noticing?
Well, I'm noticing all of the students are wearing their masks. The social distancing is taking place from what I'm observing in the hall that I'm in and in the school as a whole. So they're cognizant of this. They're aware of it, and they're taking it serious. Good.
And your colleagues, what about, what do you see? How do you as a teacher feel on your campus? What is the district doing enough? Are we keeping you safe? Are there additional things that we could do? Or talk about that experience.
Mm-hmm. I feel the district is keeping us safe, but when it comes down to it, it's personal. That I have to keep myself safe.
Yeah.
I have to keep myself healthy. I have to wear the masks. I have to go through the hygiene routines. And it's not just for me. It's when I come in contact with my colleagues. It's when I come in contact with my students. I have to provide as safe an environment as I can. And that starts at home, and between home and getting to campus and getting to my room. All of that, those are the safety precautions that we have to have.
You make a great point. We, as a system, we can do numerous things to keep students and staff safe. But at the end of the day, there's a level of personal responsibility that we all must assume in order to keep ourselves safe, as well as our colleagues and our students, everyone. And I, to your point, as I've been around, I've been incredibly impressed with our students, and I just have not seen compliance issues. Our kids are doing what I say. In fact, one of the most interesting things that I say, I was at a middle school, and they allowed their children to go outside and take a mask break, if you will, and not one child took their mask off. I mean, it was fascinating. I think the kids may be doing a better job than we're doing.
Right.
That scenario. So good. Yeah, personal responsibility is important. Thank you for that. Sheila, coming to you. You are an MCL at Ross Elementary, and one of the roles of an MCL is to provide that coaching and mentoring to teachers. And so, Sheila, as you're thinking, we have quite a few educators and staff members that watch ECISD Live. And so if you were to talk to some of your colleagues tonight, just other teachers across the district, what words of wisdom, maybe those folks that are really struggling, this is just really hard right now, any words of wisdom that you would share with other teachers tonight?
Sure. I would just say it gets easier. It will get easier. I mean, any first-year teacher has challenges. We're all first-year teachers this year, but we're in it together. And one thing I have seen and one thing I encourage is to reach out to each other, lean on each other. That's one. My friends are teachers, and we have such a circle of strong support for each other. And even before COVID, but now especially. And if you're a newer teacher, don't be afraid to ask for help. I mean, one thing I've seen, talk about collaboration and teamwork, is I've seen not just teachers, but everybody inside our school buildings come together and do things they've never had to do before, delivering meals to classrooms. So if you think about what we're going through right now, it's temporary. We'll get through it. It's challenging. To give you some peace of mind or comfort, I've taught for over 20 years, and those of us who are experienced teachers feel like new teachers again too. So what we can continue to do is just be there for each other, lean on each other, and just know that it gets better. And when we get through this, I know, speaking for myself personally, just in the last few weeks, I've learned so much that I will use from here on out. So when we get through this, we can take what we've learned and improve our instruction once we're in the regular classroom again, just based on what we've learned in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, good. I agree. There lots of learning is happening daily, not only for students, but for each of us as well. And I, those opportunities to collaborate. And I love your guidance and wisdom about just really talk to your colleagues. First year teacher questions. Ask. As we are learners. Everybody in our organization. And as learners, one of the primary ways that we learn is through questions. And so asking questions is pretty important. So good words of wisdom. We appreciate that, Sheila. Gabi, same thing. You are also an MCL at Downing Elementary, and words of wisdom for you as you're coaching and mentoring teachers, whether you're on your own campus or any of the teachers that are watching tonight. Any words of wisdom from you?
We are first-year teachers, and whether we like it or not, it's you have to have that. You're always wanting to learn and to grow, especially in this profession. And we have each other to lean on. So there are people in our profession that are better at technology than other people, or better at curriculum. That's what we're here for. I thought I was proficient when it came to Google, but not so much. I'm getting there. And I think by having that attitude of, it can happen, and having an open mind, because definitely when I started school, in my head, I thought 4 walls, no problem. I do this every year. I've got my kids here. It's a normal year. But, my 4 walls just got opened a little bit bigger. And, it's just that it's ever changing.
Yes.
That's what I can, to other teachers, to keep in your head, it's ever changing. Good, bad, or different. It's ever changing. And if you think of that in a positive way, it's going to have a positive outcome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the togetherness piece of this, it is ever changing. And sometimes it takes the village to figure out what the latest change is and how to respond.
We're at that village at this point.
That's right.
I think we were used to our small villages that we had of our teachers that we're used to leaning on.
Yes.
My first year at EK Downing, my village just multiplied. Yeah. And you find out quick, hey, so-and-so can do this, so-and-so can do that. I need help. and we're all here to help each other.
That's right. Absolutely. We do this work together.
Yes.
We do this work together. None of us are on the island. Good for you. Ms. Silas, coming to you. Let's talk about a parent situation. Okay. And we have, so I'm a frustrated parent. I just cannot get in touch with anybody at the school. Maybe I have concerns, homework concerns. I have scheduling concerns. I just have some concerns as a parent, and I can't reach anybody at the school. Nobody calls me back, or I can't get in. What guidance would you give to a parent that is a bit frustrated because they simply can't get through to people at the school?
Yes, just definitely continue trying to communicate, because I feel like at this point, teachers might be overwhelmed too, with a lot of emails, with a lot of things to get back to. Principals, same thing. It's been a difficult, I would say, week for everybody, and we're all busy. But definitely try to keep trying to get in touch with either the school, the office, with your teachers. We have many ways to communicate available for parents right now. We have Remind 101. We have different programs, apps that we use to keep, that communication open with students and also with parents. I would say email teachers for sure. I mean, teachers have to be checking their emails daily, and there is no reason for a parent not to be informed at this point of what is going on. So I just will say to every parent is just keep trying. Communication is there. There are many ways that you can, get in touch with teachers.
Good. And you're willing to respond?
For sure. Every day. Every day I'm on my email, I'm on my Remind one-on-one, and we are doing that. We're all concerned about, maybe someone not knowing what day they have to be synchronized or asynchronized. So we're all really paying attention to those details right now. Is everybody on the same page? Do you know your schedule? And we're doing our best at answering those questions.
Good. Thank you, Ms. Silas. Mr. Ashford, tell me about a situation in which a student may feel overwhelmed with the work volume. Maybe a parent feels that the child is spending too much time doing homework or schoolwork, and it's just taking, in the parent opinion, maybe the child opinion, too much time. How would you respond to a parent like that if they're having concerns about the workload?
I think we have to be flexible with that. And an online community allows flexibility with the work. Let's say you have an assignment due at 11:59 p.m. I think communication is really good. If that's not possible, let's communicate. Let's talk. Let's work. We're a community, so let's work through this. And there can be an extension. We may give them grace as far if they're behind. Give them a little bit more grace as opposed to the normal way of doing things. Because with the students being at home, they may continue to have more and more responsibilities at home and we're able to see that now.
Yep.
We're seeing that. We're at home with them a lot. We're seeing the responsibilities that they have. So I believe that we need to communicate with the parents and with their student that we're willing to be flexible with them.
Yep. And I think to your point, that we're still learning, and there is a balancing, and sometimes, we can be out of balance there in, some classes, there may be too much work. And in some other areas, it may not be challenging enough. And I think one of the things that we're all learning right now is that balance. What is the right balance to ensure that our kids have that high quality educational experience? But at the same time, they're not up until midnight every night completing assignments.
Exactly.
So really good point. Ms. Berry, I want to take the same question to you at the elementary level. A parent who feels that there is too much work, in your opinion, what would they do to respond to that?
Definitely contact the teacher. At this point, we're all giving grace to all our students, as well as our parents giving grace to us. It's something that we've never experienced before. We've never had to go through a handbook of procedures on how to do this. So I think having that open line communication with our administrators, I'd say if that parent is unable to contact anybody, contact other teachers on that grade level, contact the principal, contact the secretaries, see if you can get through the secretaries to get in touch with that teacher. We are all trying to answer emails as best as we can. Class Dojo, all our Google Meets that we're trying to do. So definitely, if your student is not receiving work, I had a student today that was unable to get online. We're trying to figure out what's the best format to reach our students at this time. So it's this learning curve that we all have to go through. They're learning, so are we. And if we give each other grace, we can definitely figure our way throughout the situation. Like I said, this isn't something that we have learned how to do throughout the year when we've gone through a handbook. So both of us, all of us are learning.
Sure. No, absolutely. And the one thing that I've heard all of you say, tonight is you've used some similar vocabulary words as you've answered these questions. The word together comes up a lot. The word learning comes up a lot, as in we are learning as well as students are learning. And so I appreciate that. I think, again, a good message for our parents is that we're open. When you as a parent are feeling that things are not right for your child, right on the screen right now, you see 4 teachers and a superintendent that are telling you to let us know so that we can work with you to resolve the issues that any of our kids are facing. At the end of the day, our goal, the collective goal of the 4,200 employees of the system is to ensure that every single child, the 34,000 kids that we serve, have an absolutely amazing academic experience. And we cannot do that alone. It takes this partnership between parents and between the school district to make really good things happen for kids. And clearly, the four of you are letting our families know tonight that you're willing to listen and work with our parents as we journey to this new destination together. So good words of wisdom. I want to keep all of you on the screen because I want to use a word and kind of get your reaction. So when I say the word attendance, look at the face! Look at the faces! Yeah, who wants to tackle that one? So attendance this year is not the way it has ever been in the history of school systems. So does everybody want to tell me what attendance is like for you this year? Who wants to tackle that one?
Well, I'll start.
Go ahead.
It's difficult.
Okay,
It has been difficult. It definitely has been difficult. It's been a challenge because while we want to make sure we have accurate numbers and give those kids credit for being there, it's been difficult because there are different ways to be counted present. And so as teachers, we've had to track that and monitor that. And it's quite challenging just to get it accurate, but it's time consuming as well. So we want to get it right. We've had students who've kind of gotten kicked off and their parents have issues, can't get back on. And then we found out where they were just deactivated for whatever reason, maybe for attendance issues. So tracking it, monitoring it, making it fair and accurate has definitely been a challenge.
Yes, it has. And we have some interesting rules from the TEA that have expanded our attendance opportunities this year for sure. And I think we're still trying to figure that out. Ms. Berry, I think you were going to jump on that one too.
I was. I had a situation. A parent had gotten deactivated today, and there was I had gone through technical support to figure out how can this parent figure out how to reactivate or what was wrong with their account. They gave me a number. It was 456-0013, and they're wanting to talk to parents about their student accounts. And as much as I want to throw myself in there and call my parents and say, okay, what platform are you on? Are you on Chrome? Are you on Internet Explorer? I am not the professional when it comes to technology and what they're supposed to be on and what's going to work well. So I would probably advise my parents, contact technology support. They have phone numbers, they have websites, they have links that you can walk yourself through to figure out, okay, what's my problem, and here's my solution to it.
To help our parents understand, attendance traditionally has been the child is physically present in front of you, and then you as a teacher mark students that are absent. So those kids that aren't there, absent, and you're done for the day with attendance. But this year, it's still easy to do attendance for those kids that are physically present. The challenge now is most of our kids are not physically present, and there are multiple ways for a child to demonstrate attendance, and they have to do that before 11:59 p.m. every night in order to prove that they're there. And so our teachers know that variety of ways. I think we're still trying to figure out the best process to ensure that we're capturing attendance correctly. So I actually commend you four teachers and the other 2,200 teachers we have in ECISD for continuing to navigate this attendance opportunity. It is still a challenge, and I can assure you it will get better, but it's still a challenge for all of us. This elementary and secondary, and this next question may look different on different campuses, and it's the A day, B day. Let's start with our high school kids. So, Mr. Ashford or Ms. Silas, if either one of you would take this. So, could you explain in English so that mom and dad can understand? First of all, I don't know what an A or a B is other than a grade in school. So, what is an A day, B day? What does that mean? And for my child at the high school level, let's start with either one of you.
Well, on the A and B schedule, what that means is that virtual students and also those that are choosing to come in face-to-face, they will have different days to do so. We want to keep those students that are coming in person, the numbers, as small as possible. So that's why they got divided into two groups, A and B. That doesn't mean that they are not going to come to school some way or somehow. But that means that on that A day, those, with the letters A through L will come virtually and also face-to-face if they chose hybrid. And we will have synchronized lessons, synchronized lectures, with our students. Those B students, when they stay at home, they still have to be learning. So we have to have a lesson for them where they can complete, independently. So when we think about attendance, what that means is that even though they are not synchronized on the A day, B group or the B students are still working from home. And that way they take turns. Then the next day, the A students will stay at home. They will learn virtually if that's the case. And that way we can keep those numbers, small here in the classroom, and everybody is having instruction, whether it is face-to-face or virtual.
Absolutely. I think that you made a very important point. Whether you are an A or a B, learning happens every single day.
Yes.
For
we have teenagers, right? We are in high school. And probably at the beginning, they had that misconception that those days that are, asynchronous, they were on their own, and probably they were not required to do some sort of work. And that's not the case. I mean, learning is continuous, and there is a way for you to still learn, independently, and have probably a lesson that will make that happen. And as you were talking, we're trying to find ways to do that, even if you're not synchronized in a Google Meet or coming here face to face. We have exit tickets, we have warm-ups, we have different ways that we can still have students, say something for the class or checking that they're there.
Yep. Mr. Ashford, real quick, on the A day, B day, what does your day look like as a teacher in that environment? And again, you're at Permian High School.
Yes. The A day is, in the beginning, it was kind of tough for the students to distinguish it. But on the A days, I just have those students, and as Ms. Silas said, is that in the B day students, they are continuing their learning, so on and so forth. And so on those particular days, the learning is still going on, but we have to instill in the students, yes, you do have that independence, but you're still accountable for the work that you're doing. It's not a day off. It's not a free day. You may not be on there the whole 50 minutes. You may not even do your work on, let's say, if it's not your day to be there, you may not do the work at that second period of time, but it needs to be done at some point throughout the day.
So on my A day, I'm physically present one day at school, and on my opposite day, I am not at school because there's another group of kids at school. I think it's important for all parents to realize, the reason we're doing this is because of COVID-19. We have to limit the number of kids on our campuses, and this A-day, B-day rotation allows us to really have half the students on campus at one time. Because I think all of you, especially the high school level, if you had all of your students, social distancing would not be possible, not only in the classroom, but something down the hallway. Ms. Wilson, talk about A-day, B-day at the elementary school. What does that mean to an elementary student? What does it look like? Ms. Wilson?
Yes. Well, it's a little different in an elementary school, on elementary campus, depending on our numbers. It might be different from campus to campus, but we still have that A-B so that we don't have, if a student is there and they're an A schedule, they might be with the teacher one day, and they might be virtual still within the school building the next day while we have the B students face-to-face. But like the other teachers were saying, it's still important whether you're face-to-face or live in person that you take full advantage of that opportunity to be live with the teacher.
Yep. Good. Anything to add to that, Ms. Berry?
I know on our campus in particular, that A and B schedule, it's very familiar to what the other teachers were saying. Part of where we have a little twist, some of our these students will come to school for that A day, but they're going to be somewhere else in the building. And they'll be on that Google Meet platform while the teacher is teaching to the kids that are in front of her, or they'll be doing some other platform, learning, Google Classroom, whatnot. But everybody is still learning at the campus during that time, during those schedules.
Correct. Yeah, so sometimes on that that off day for kids, they could be physically on the campus. In fact, I was at an elementary school today and saw a group of kids in the gymnasium, and they were at desks, but it was their off day. So they were having asynchronous learning while the rest of their peers were in a classroom. And again, that's all about social distancing and making sure we have small numbers of kids in each of our spaces. So that's good. We're about to wrap up, you guys, but I want to give each of you one more opportunity. Lots of moms and dads and kids watching us tonight. And, what words of encouragement would you give to our families, our parents that are engaging in this process and kind of taking this journey with us tonight? Ms. Berry, you want to start us off? Words of encouragement for moms and dads tonight?
I think, when I think of how this school has started this school year, give grace. Teachers, give grace. Parents, give grace to teachers. It's a learning curve. We're all learning. So it may be your kid's first day at a new school. It may be a teacher's first year at a new school. We're all learners. We're all here to learn. And we're all learning how to be learners all over again in this world. It just looks different. I would encourage our parents to keep on telling their students that it may look different, but we're still teachers behind the mask. We miss seeing our kids. We miss the interaction. We miss the communication, the collaboration that we have with them. So as much as they miss school, that's as much as we miss school as well.
Yeah. I was in a pre-K class the first day of school, and the little boy looked up to his teacher and asked her if she had lips. And it was funny at the time, but I was like, wow, he's never seen her face and doesn't even know what's under the mask. And it was interesting. So good comment. Thank you, Ms. Berry. And going to you, Mr. Ashford, just words of encouragement for the parents at Permian or just high school parents in general.
I think if we can show each other grace, I think if we can show the parents grace, the parents show us grace. We've never done this. None of us were here in 1918 to know what to do about this.
That's right. That's a great point.
So we can have some. We don't have all the answers at the district level, at the school level. We don't have all of them, and we're discovering something new. Teachers are. We're discovering something new every class period. So if we can just be patient, but at this, and also the students that are working at home, I tell my students, when you come to class, it's a place of business. And that's in the classroom. So we have to put everything else aside and work this 50 minutes or however long other schools are. And it's the same thing with being at home. If it's your day, A or B day, and you're in class, you're in class. So we all, teachers and parents and caregivers, we have to teach our students at that time, for those 50 minutes, distractions are gone. And we have to make it easy for our students to have a solid learning experience at home.
Yep. Together, we take this journey together. Good, Ms. Thiles, what about you for our families tonight?
Yes, I just want to say to parents, I am a mother of 2 boys, and one of the things that I keep in mind with my kids is to keep healthy routines. And even though we are at home, we still need to have kind of like a mindset that my kids are at school, and I need to be aware of, the time they're eating, when they're supposed to eat. Certain things that I feel are important for every student, high school level, elementary, and all that. When you're at home, still be ready to wake up early as if you're going to school, to have that routine of I'm going to dress, when I get dressed, I'm going to eat my breakfast, and then I'm going to get ready to start school, to start class. And just keep your mind open to all these changes, and patience is key. as teachers, as parents, is just to have patience. Things shall pass, and we shall, gather again as we should be in a classroom.
Yes, lots of patience. And Miss Wilson, you have the final word from our teachers tonight.
All right. I just want to encourage parents to be patient. Don't hesitate to reach out with anything you need. But I also want to reiterate what the other teachers are saying. Ultimately, our goal as teachers is to prepare our students for the next year and beyond. And so in order for that to happen, we need to maximize the opportunities that we have. And so when there's that opportunity for your child to be on live with a teacher virtually, take advantage of that. We are there to meet the needs of your kids in every way we can, but we know that we can do that better if they're with us. And like some of the other teachers were saying, it's a learning environment, whether they're at home or whether they're at school. It's business. And so we want to maximize this opportunity as best we can, because ultimately we need to send kids on to the next grade level that are ready for that grade level.
Absolutely. And good reminder, Ms. Wilson, it's business. We're in school, whether at home,
Yes.
learning virtually, or at school. We're in school, and this is business. And to your point, we want success for every 34 or each of the 34,000 students that we serve in ECISD. The four of you are absolute rock stars. Thank you for representing your 2,200 colleagues in ECISD so exceptionally well tonight. You're inspiring, and you certainly give me as the superintendent a great deal of comfort knowing that our kids each day have teachers like you at the 42 schools we have in ECISD. So thank you for joining us tonight, teachers of ECISD, and for our parents and educators that are watching us tonight. I thank you as well for taking a little bit of time out of your Thursday evening to join us. Our schedule remains the same. We continue to monitor the health conditions of our community. Our phasing process continues as posted. We will monitor on a regular basis the current health conditions in our community. And I can assure you that if we feel, and if through the guidance and wisdom of the state of Texas and through our local health department, if health conditions warrant that we need to make different decisions, we will do that to make sure that our students and staff members remain safe. Again, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week at 7 o'clock. Scott Muri, Superintendent, ECISD. Have a good evening.